I'm really doing my best to try and put things in perspective for Trinidadians. And I need you all to understand the level of mismanagement that has taken place in this country. Across the road from this poverty, and I want you to watch this poverty, and this is a snapshot of it. This is the best I could get of it right now. But there are tens of thousands of people living across the road in total squalor and poverty from this. From this multi-million-dollar projects that's separated by 20 feet of asphalt from tens of thousands of people living in pure squalor, total hunger. There's no way for you to appreciate what takes place in Cocorite and Harding Place and Waterhole. There's no way for you to appreciate it unless you go there yourself. Coming out of the luxury of Westmoreland and Victoria Gardens, you pass under a walkover by a place called Lady Ho Choi Circular. If you're brave, turn left. Let's drive inside there and look and see. These people already live in hunger and fear and stress. To the people who live in these multi-million-dollar apartments, they live under a false security, a literal guard hut, 2 or 3 minimum wage guards guarding their multi-million-dollar properties. The mismanagement that is collapsing this country will one day pit these people who live in these houses, who are already starving, against these people. And if you don't wake up to the reality, and if you think the minimum wage security guard sitting, manning the gate of your gated community will protect your luxuries, you're wrong. Both sides of this road has to have the same conversation. How do we level the play field in Trinidad and Tobago? How do we get management at a governmental level that socially redevelops the country to the point where these people do not see these people as prey? At what point do we get a government in power that levels the play field so that these people do not have a disproportionate share of the national pie, causing these people to have nothing and live like this and getting angrier and angrier by the day? What I am telling you in this video here is harsh reality. If a Hurricane Irma or a Jose pass through this country, a nation that has nothing in place to manage our normal day-to-day life, what will happen when it blows down the roofs and destroys all of these houses and puts 20 to 30,000 of these desperately poor and hungry people in the street? What happens then? Are we living in this false delusion, this fake sense of security that somehow the minimum wage security guards will handle the conversations for us? The people who live in these apartments, the people who live in our multi-million-dollar establishments, I have heard them refer to these people here as the problem. These people are not the problem. These people are victims of a mismanaged economy, a mismanaged social program, a complete breakdown of the order of the country. They're holding on. That's what we're doing. We have governments who have come and gone and treated them as voter banks and encouraged them to support political parties in exchange for handouts. 67% of Tobago works for the THA. What happens when the government of Trinidad and Tobago could no longer give those 67% of the people who work for the THA their monthly stipend. What happens then? After those who have been conspiring, corrupt businessmen, corrupt professional class, corrupt and deviant politicians who sell out and digs out, what happens to the rest of us? Cocorite and Bayside Towers are separated by 2 ribbons of pitch and a walkover. I am telling Trinidad and Tobago, we are already at a place where the conversation has to be had. We need to fix this. We need programs that makes it possible for these people to have a stake in the country. Proper home ownership, proper community development, proper education for their children, proper health care. We need to make sure that when their family gets sick, they could go to the same hospital as the Prime Minister, his ministers, and the residents of these apartments. Because if these people who live here have a different expectation of life in Trinidad and Tobago to these people, if the mark ever busts, we would have reaped the harvest of everything we've sown. Tomorrow, Saturday, at 6 o'clock, the Progressive Empowerment Party has a meeting opposite Starlight Shopping Plaza in Diego Martin. And our conversation, among others, is to ask, how do we bridge this divide? How do we get past the voting handout and race to voting into office, a government capable of bridging this mad social divide that has us at each other's throats and waiting for a mark to bust? Tomorrow at 6 o'clock, bring your friends and family and come to this conversation opposite Starlight Shopping Plaza. This is just one of the issues. Diego Martin is a tinderbox. We are a hotspot and an at-risk community while boasting some of the most expensive real estate in the Caribbean. Now you tell me how long you think that state of affairs is going to continue under the levels of mismanagement that we have had as government for the past 55 years.